Close your eyes for a second. Think back to that one scene, the pottery wheel, the soft candlelight, unchained melody slowly filling the room. Two people so deeply in love that the whole world just disappears around them. If you felt something in your chest just now, a warmth, a small ache, something you can't quite name, then you already know exactly what movie we're talking about. Ghost, 1990. It wasn't just a film, it was a feeling. A full, complete, overwhelming feeling that stayed with you long after the credits rolled. Long after you walked out of that theater. Long after the years passed. And here's the thing about Ghost that no other movie has ever quite managed to replicate. It made you believe, not just in love, but in the idea that love is so powerful, so real, so unbreakable, that even death cannot end it. People cried watching this movie. Not just a few tears. Full, ugly, uncontrollable crying. And they weren't ashamed. Because Ghost earned every single one of those tears. It was released on July 13th, 1990, 36 years ago. The people on that screen were young. They were beautiful. They were electric. They gave us something truly unforgettable. But 36 years is a long time. Life happened. Careers shifted. Some of these actors went on to legendary heights. Others faded quietly from the spotlight. And heartbreakingly, some of them are no longer with us. Today, we're going back. We're looking at the cast of Ghost, then and now. Where they were, where they are, and in some cases, where they will forever remain in our hearts. This is their story. And in many ways, it's ours too. Patrick Swayze as Sam Wheat. There are actors who play roles, and then there are actors who become them. Patrick Swayze didn't just play Sam Wheat. He was Sam Wheat. The quiet strength, the gentle love in his eyes every time he looked at Molly. The absolute devastation of a man who realizes he's gone, and the only thing keeping him here is her. When Ghost came out, Patrick was already a star. Dirty Dancing had made him a household name 3 years earlier, but Ghost was different. Ghost showed the world that this man could do something far more difficult than dance. He could make you feel the weight of a soul refusing to leave. He was 37 years old during filming, athletic, warm, magnetic, the kind of man who walked into a room and you just watched him. After Ghost, his career continued with films like Point Break and City of Joy. He remained one of Hollywood's most beloved figures, not just for his talent, but for who he was as a person. Everyone who worked with him said the same thing. He was genuine, he was kind, he was the real thing. But in 2008, Patrick was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. He fought it. God, he fought it hard. He continued working. He smiled. He refused to let the world see him defeated. On September 14th, 2009, Patrick Swayze passed away. He was 57 years old. The world stopped that day. Social media filled with tears. Tributes poured in from every corner of the globe. Because losing Patrick Swayze wasn't just losing an actor. It was losing something warm and irreplaceable in the world. Sam Wheat said in the movie, "It's amazing, Molly. The love inside, you take it with you." We believe that. We have to believe that. Demi Moore as Molly Jensen. There is a particular kind of beauty that goes beyond the physical, a presence, a realness, an emotional depth that the camera simply cannot ignore. Demi Moore had all of it. When Ghost was released, Demi was 27 years old. She had done solid work before, St. Elmo's Fire, About Last Night, but Ghost transformed her into something else entirely. An icon, a name that would be spoken alongside the greatest actresses of her generation. Her performance as Molly Jensen was raw and devastating. The scene where Sam dies and she doesn't understand what's happening. The scene at the pottery wheel, the final goodbye. Demi didn't act those moments. She lived them. You could feel her heart break through the screen like something physical pressing against your chest. Ghost made Demi Moore the highest paid actress in Hollywood at the time. She followed it with A Few Good Men, Indecent Proposal, and Striptease. She was everywhere. She was unstoppable. The years brought their own story, public struggles, personal battles, a very public life lived under an unforgiving spotlight. But Demi has always been a survivor. She wrote her memoir, Inside Out, in 2019, with breathtaking honesty. She faced her demons out loud, which takes more courage than most people will ever know. Today, Demi Moore is 61 years old, and she is having what can only be described as a magnificent second act. Her appearance at the 2025 Golden Globes, winning Best Actress for The Substance, reminded the entire world that this woman is not done, not even close. She is still Molly. She will always be Molly. Whoopi Goldberg as Oda Mae Brown. Let's talk about the performance that nobody saw coming. When Whoopi Goldberg was cast as Oda Mae Brown, the reluctant, fast-talking, hilariously skeptical psychic medium, People weren't sure what to expect. What they got was one of the greatest supporting performances in the history of American cinema. Whoopi was 34 years old during filming. She brought Oda Mae to life with such electric comedic energy that she single-handedly balanced the film's emotional weight. Every scene she was in, you laughed, and somehow, that laughter made the heartbreak even deeper. She won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress for this role. Her speech was joyful and electric and completely her, just like everything Whoopi does. Before Ghost, Whoopi had already won an Oscar for The Color Purple. After Ghost, she became one of the most recognizable faces in entertainment. Sister Act, The Lion King, and for over 2 decades now, The View, where she has been a constant, outspoken, fiercely intelligent presence. Today, Whoopi Goldberg is 69 years old. She has battled health challenges in recent years, including a serious bout with pneumonia that frightened her fans deeply. But she came back. Of course she came back. That's what Whoopi does. She remains one of the very few people in history to have achieved EGOT status: Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony. In the entire history of entertainment, only a handful of human beings have done that. Oda Mae Brown told Sam, "You can't just say it, you have to mean it." Whoopi Goldberg has always meant every single thing she's ever said. Tony Goldwyn as Carl Brunner. Every great love story needs a villain, and Tony Goldwyn gave us one of the most quietly sinister ones cinema has ever seen. Carl Brunner, Sam's best friend. The man who smiles at your face and destroys your life behind your back. The man who causes everything and feels almost nothing. Tony was 30 years old when Ghost was filmed. His portrayal of Carl was so convincingly charming and corrupt that audiences genuinely hated him, which is exactly the highest compliment you can pay a villain. What happened after Ghost is interesting. Tony Goldwyn spent years building a career that was always good, always solid, but it was television that finally gave him the iconic second role of his career. As President Fitzgerald Grant on Scandal, he became one of the most talked about figures on American television for 7 seasons. Today, Tony Goldwyn is 64 years old. He remains active in both film and television, directing as well as acting. He has aged with a distinguished, silver-haired grace that Sam Wheat would probably find deeply annoying. Vincent Schiavelli as the subway ghost. Some performances don't need much screen time to become immortal. Vincent Schiavelli appeared in Ghost for only a handful of scenes as the terrifying, unpredictable ghost who haunts the New York subway and teaches Sam how to move physical objects. He was menacing. He was unforgettable. He brought a strange, tragic dimension to what could have been a simple antagonist role. Vincent was a character actor of the rarest kind, instantly recognizable, endlessly versatile, impossible to forget. He passed away on December 26, 2005, from lung cancer. He was 57 years old. The film world lost a unique and irreplaceable talent that day. But every time Ghost is watched, and it is still watched all over the world every single day, Vincent Schiavelli is there, on that subway platform, teaching a dead man how to hold on. Rick Aviles as Willie Lopez, the man who started everything. Rick Aviles played the street criminal whose actions set the entire tragedy of Ghost in motion. It was a small role in screen time, but a massive role in the story. Rick was a stand-up comedian and actor who brought genuine menace to Willie without ever making him cartoonish. He made you afraid of him. He made you angry. He did his job perfectly. Rick Aviles passed away on March 17, 1994 from AIDS-related complications. He was just 38 years old, gone far too soon. Remembered by everyone who loves this film. John Cazale as Fredo Corleone. There are actors who live long careers and leave small marks. And then there are actors who appeared in only 5 films, every single one of them a masterpiece, and left a mark so deep that Hollywood still talks about them 50 years later. John Cazale was that actor. Fredo Corleone is the middle son, the weak one, the one the family loves but does not trust, the one who smiles too easily and breaks too quickly, the one who, in a moment of fear and confusion, makes the choice that will define and destroy him. Cazale was 38 years old during filming. He was not famous. He was a theater actor from Boston who had done almost nothing on screen before The Godfather. But Francis Ford Coppola saw something in him that nobody else had put on film yet. A particular kind of sadness, a softness that felt completely unguarded. A man who wanted so desperately to be seen as strong and could never quite get there. Every scene Fredo is in, you feel sorry for him. And you feel frightened of what that pity will eventually cost everyone around him. Cazale returned for The Godfather Part 2, where Fredo's story reaches its heartbreaking conclusion. The scene on the boat, Michael's cold eyes, Fredo reciting his Hail Mary. It is one of the most quietly devastating moments in the history of American cinema. And Cazale carries the entire weight of it on his face without a single word of explanation. After The Godfather, John Cazale appeared in The Conversation, Dog Day Afternoon, and The Deer Hunter. 5 films total, 5 films, and every single one was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Picture. That has never happened to any other actor in Hollywood history. Not before, not since. During the filming of The Deer Hunter, John Cazale was already sick. He had been diagnosed with bone cancer. The studio wanted to replace him. His co-star and partner Meryl Streep, who loved him deeply, threatened to walk off the film if they did. Director Michael Cimino held firm. John Cazale completed The Deer Hunter. He passed away on March 12, 1978. He was 42 years old. 42 years old, 5 films, a legacy that will never be matched. There is a documentary about his life called I Knew It Was You. Watch it and try not to feel the weight of what the world lost when it lost John Cazale. Talia Shire as Connie Corleone. Every family has a center. Not always the loudest voice, not always the most powerful presence, but the one whose pain, whose choices, whose survival tells you everything you need to know about what this family truly is. Connie Corleone was that person, and Talia Shire made her unforgettable. Talia was 25 years old during filming. She brought a rawness to Connie that felt completely unperformed. The wedding scene at the beginning, pure joy. The scene with Carlo, terror and shame all at once. The grief that follows her through the entire film like a shadow she cannot shake. What most people do not know is that Talia Shire is Francis Ford Coppola's sister. She was not handed this role because of that connection. She earned it completely. Her performance silenced any question about nepotism within the first 5 minutes she was on screen. After The Godfather, Talia received an Academy Award nomination for The Godfather Part 2. And then she gave the world another iconic role entirely. Adrian in Rocky, the quiet, gentle woman who becomes the emotional backbone of one of cinema's greatest underdog stories. 2 franchises, 2 completely different worlds, one extraordinary actress who made both of them feel real. Today, Talia Shire is 79 years old. She remains one of the most respected figures in Hollywood, carrying the legacy of 2 of the greatest film series ever made with a grace and a dignity that feels entirely her own. Connie Corleone survived everything the Corleone family put her through. In many ways, so did Talia Shire. The legacy Ghost was not supposed to be what it became. The studio had doubts. The early tracking numbers were uncertain. Nobody predicted that a supernatural romantic drama about a dead banker and a pottery artist would become the highest-grossing film of 1990, beating every action movie, every blockbuster, every competitor. But audiences knew something the executives didn't. They knew that what Jerry Zucker had made, what Bruce Joel Rubin had written, what this extraordinary cast had brought to life was something rare, something true, something that spoke directly to the most human part of every person who watched it. Ghost made over $505 million at the worldwide box office. It won 2 Academy Awards, Best Original Screenplay and Best Supporting Actress. It launched careers, changed lives, and permanently altered the way Hollywood thought about romantic drama. But more than any of that, it gave people something to hold on to. In 1990, and today, and 30 years from now, when someone loses a person they love and feels that desperate, impossible wish that love could somehow reach across the distance between the living and the gone, they will think of this movie. They will remember Sam and Molly. They will hear Unchained Melody in their mind. And they will feel, just for a moment, that maybe love really doesn't end. 36 years later, the cast of Ghost has lived full, complicated, beautiful, heartbreaking lives. Some are still here, still working, still giving us everything they have. Some left us far too early, taking their light with them but leaving their performances behind, permanent and unchanging, forever young on the screen. Patrick Swayze, Rick Avels, Vincent Schiavelli, gone, but never, ever forgotten. Because Ghost taught us something that we carry with us quietly, deeply, in the part of ourselves that believes in things we cannot explain. The love inside. You take it with you. Rest easy, Sam. We still miss you. If this video moved you, share it with someone you love, and subscribe, because there are more stories like this one coming.